Gaffer, another home game against Port Vale. What do you make of what Port Vale have done during the summer? A lot of transition there.
I think they've started well in the league. Obviously, a new manager's come in, shaking it up a little bit, put his own players in. A lot of players have left. I know the assistant manager there well, and Andy Smith, the first team coach. So listen, and we know what they're about. We've seen a lot of their games. They'll try and play a lot more than a Port Vale team has done over the years. But one thing I know is they've been struggling a little bit away from home, and we need to capitalise on that early doors.
Yeah. How beneficial has it been on the training ground this week? Because your first week without a midweek fixture allows you to get some training time into the players.
It's been good. We didn't arrange a 23 game this week for that reason, so we can get work into everyone. It's a little bit hard when the games are coming, every 2 or 3 days to get any good work into them, but they've worked really hard this week with us, with Ben McKenzie. So a lot of good stuff for the boys this week, and we can work a little bit more on our game and things that we need to improve on.
Yeah, has that been frustrating? Because obviously as a new manager coming in, you want to be able to implement your own ideas and ethos on the team, and obviously with midweek games it's more about preparation for that particular fixture.
Yeah, it's more important for the players who haven't been playing really, so that they can get a bit work into them. It's important that we keep them boys on board. I spoke to a lot of them yesterday to tell them that the work they've been doing is not going unnoticed, but the boys have had, they've done well the last 2 games, 4 points from 2 games. It's important that I spoke a couple of weeks ago that the consistency that we keep on top of, which is hard when you've got a young changing room, but one I'll never hide behind the fact that it is a young changing room, but it is hard to drum consistency into them, and we are here to improve them, to make them better every single day, and we strive to do that, and if that's going to make them better for us to get results on Saturday, then brilliant.
Yeah, Michael Smith's been away on international duty and also had a child as well during that period. He's back in your thinking, of course, for Saturday's game.
Yeah, it's obviously he's had a bit of a whirlwind few days. Michael obviously been with the Northern Ireland squad, come back. His wife has just had a baby boy, which is, we're all pleased for him. Welcome to the world of fatherhood and no sleep and stuff like that. But it's great for him. He'll be back into the thinking and the plans for Saturday. So it's great to have him back. His experience is no high, and just his whole aura that he brings to the change room that the boys have got a lot of respect for.
Yeah, and obviously the competition there because Hayden's back fit as well.
Hayden was a bit unfortunate, to be honest. He's a bit down in the dumps that he missed the 2 games that Michael was gone with the Northern Ireland team, which is frustrating for him. But it was important that he didn't rush back on it and then be out for a bit longer. When you've got a bit of a groin problem, it's a tricky one, especially someone with Hayden who plays with a explosive nature in his game, is sprinting and stuff like that. So it was important that we took our time on it, and I think John's done the right thing with him, the physio. He was frustrated that he missed the 2 games because he wanted to come in and prove a point and keep his place in the team. But unfortunately, it didn't happen, and he missed the game, and he trained on Tuesday. So yeah, it's great to have him back. But I mean, Hayden, he's trained Tuesday, Wednesday. Possibly still feeling it a little bit, just watching him in training, still a little bit of aware of it. But he's fit and available if needed for Saturday.
Yeah, the 3 new signings, 2 of them obviously got match action as a substitute in last week's game. Are they in your thinking at the moment?
They're in my thinking, of course. Yeah, I didn't bring them to the club for them not to be in my thinking. Told the both of them that when they come here, they're here to play games. So definitely in my thinking. But without me making, I think the boys have put in 2 good shifts. Obviously a little bit disappointed in the Swindon first half. Probably I thought we were a lot better in the second half. The game's gone now. We've been concentrating fully on Port Vale since we come back in on Monday morning. And the boys are, they're well clued into what way they play, what we want to do, and we want to stamp our authority on the game from minute 1. It's important that we, I felt as if we probably give Swindon a little bit too much time in the ball first half, and that's one thing we won't do with Port Vale, because we've got a lot of energy in our team, and we need to make sure we play on the front foot.
Yeah, you've been speaking this week about Dion Moore and how well he's adjusted to life working with the first team, and he's very much in your thinking if called upon.
He's ready for the first team. There's no 2 ways about it. Without building the boy up or bigging him up, he's been exceptional for the under-18s. When he played in the 21s last year, he was scoring goals. he's ready. He's like Leo. It's important that we don't, go overboard about him, because he is such a young boy and he needs to keep his feet firmly on the floor, which he is. He's like Leo. He's a level-headed boy. Nothing phases him. I wouldn't bother him playing against a 20, 25, 26-year-old on Saturday. But he's ready. If he's ready and if I need him to play, he's more than ready to come on.
Yeah, and you mentioned about Shaquille Colters as well, obviously a player that was brought to the club prior to your arrival as manager, and sometimes that happens as a manager, that you have to judge players by how you see them.
Shaq's listen, he come to the club from Tottenham. I think there was a few clubs gone after him. I think he was on his way to sign for Wigan before he come to the club. So he's come in. It hasn't gone the way he wanted it to go. Possibly the Leon goal injuries maybe hampered him a little bit, because in the 2 games the back end of last season he was good with Lee. The 2 of them caused trouble to Shrewsbury and to Blackpool, so that probably hampered him a little bit. Probably helped him play enough Lee, but he's been unfortunate. Shaq's a good lad. I just feel as if Tom, Tails, Dion are possibly going to get more time than him at the minute. I explained that to him last week. It was right for him possibly to look for a loan. Unfortunately, it didn't happen on the day. But we're still looking. He can still go on loan to the conference and clubs like that. So, I think Shaq's open to it. I think he wants to play games. It's important at this stage of his development that he plays football rather than just train every day.
Yeah. And Leon Goal, you mentioned there, he's obviously progressing really well. He's been out on the grass doing a little bit of work with the physio, and that's encouraging for you to see. It's
great to see Lee back out there. Obviously he's not doing a lot, but it's just giving everyone a lift to see what a player we've got coming back in our hands. And frustrating for him to get that injury at Boston, because I felt it was going to be a massive year for him. First year in the league last year with 13 goals, I think it was, he finished. Was in a season where we never really did much or impressed. But it was a good return for him. I felt as if he had to come back this year, and he was flying in pre-season. It was a big kick in the teeth for everyone when we seen that happen at Boston. But as you know, when you have a bad injury like that, you work hard. You come back really, really fit, and he'll be good to go. Hopefully not too soon, but yeah, really, really encouraging to see him out in the training ground.
And that'll be like a signing midway through a transfer window, won't it? And Brad Inman, of course.
Yeah, definitely. Both of them. You're talking 30 goals from last year in League One. Them two. Brad's got a 13 or 14 there at Crewe, and Lee's got the same. So it's you're talking a lot of goals adding to your team there, and with them two coming back, especially in this league. So there will be like 2 new signings. Them two. There's no two ways about it, and it'll be a big lift to everyone when we see them two coming back.